Hey everybody, Mean Dean here again with another episode of Huge Winer TV. And today I got an exciting vertical for you. It's a vertical of Grüner Veltliner. Yeah, you don't see that every day, do you? No, you don't. This is from Gruner in the Okanagan Valley, BC. It was the very first BC winery to do a Gruner. There's been a few come up since. In my opinion, none of them have come anywhere near as good as this one has been. Are you not familiar with Grüner Veltliner? Well, you're not alone. It's not a grape you see an awful lot. About 75% of it actually gets grown in Austria. And you can get some lovely Gruners there. I've had a few. There's a little bit more in Eastern Europe. Hungary, the Czech Republic, Slovakia has a little bit. There's some in the US in little pockets, not the big wine regions, I don't think. I think there's some in New York and a few other places. Australia has a little bit, and then we have it in BC in the Okanagan, as I said. I have three vintages here, 2014, 15, and 16. I'm going to move those out of the way. The 14's in here. And I'm drinking it. And I made notes because I have reviewed these wines. I've tasted these wines in the past. So back in 2015, I had the 14 and so on and so on, and I had reviews. And I'm going to taste them against these reviews and see how much they've changed, if at all. I don't know a whole lot about aged Gruner. I don't know what it's supposed to be like. I don't know how much secondary and tertiary characteristics it'll pick up, but let's find out and let's see if it's changed much. This 2020 as I record this, obviously, so it's been 5 years, probably 4.5 to 5 years since I tasted this 2014. So typical characteristics of a Grüner Veltliner are things like lemon, lime, grapefruit, some stone fruit, nectarine, some white peach occasionally. And then there's a herbaceous quality to it that a lot of people would describe as bell pepper or white pepper. I guess that depends on the one you're drinking. I usually found white pepper a lot of the time, especially the ones from Austria. This one, so 2014, when I first tasted this, which would have been, again, probably mid-15 or maybe late 15, I said on the nose, apricot, peach, and citrus. Yes, yes, and yes, but I'm also thinking of some like pithy white grapefruit. Yeah, the grapefruit has come to the party here. Let's see how much grapefruit's on the palate. I actually don't like grapefruit, like at all. I hate grapefruit to eat it. If there's too much grapefruit in a wine, it'll ruin it for me to a point. I'm sure we've all had rosés that had a big pink grapefruit component to it, and even if it's a well-made wine, it's just not something that I get that excited about. Okay, well, so a few years ago I said grapefruit, herbs, citrus, and a touch of pepper on the palate. I just wrote pepper, but I'm sure I meant white pepper. It would never be black pepper. Yeah, I'd say it hasn't changed much at all. So I put long and dry finish. Dry for sure. Dry is very common. Most Grüner Veltliner that you might get around the world is dry. I think you can get somewhat slightly off dry as well. I don't recall ever having any that was any more than off dry. I think dry is very common. Long finish. I'd say it's a medium to long finish. It's not overwhelmingly long at this point. It's been open for 20 minutes or half an hour now. And it really hasn't picked up any secondary or tertiary characteristics. Like you know, aged, try a 6-year-old Riesling, you're going to get some petrol probably by this point, at least a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you should get petrol with this. I don't believe it ever becomes like that. But, you know, as wines age, they change a bit, right? But it's a very light yellow color. I'm sure you probably can't see that. I'll hold it up and see if you can tell how light the color is. It's very light. And very thin. Like, I can see my whole hand through it easily, even with a little bit of wine in there. And because it's so light and thin, it actually makes it tougher to tell how much age you've got on it, because you know the meniscus. You can't really see the meniscus because it all looks about the same. It's all very light colored. It's a nice wine, but it hasn't improved. When I tasted it before, I gave it 91 points. I wouldn't give it more than that now, maybe even less. Maybe 90. Still good wine. Yeah, at the end of the finish, it really gives you a little kick of a little bit of white pepper, but also like one more time. Almost like the stone fruit is now slightly bitter. I don't know, you shouldn't use the word bitter because that always sounds negative. By the way, I like my fancy Grüner Veltliner glasses. Yes, they make those, or at least they did. We probably picked these up 5 or 6 years ago. In this random place in the world, we were in Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver. They have a little mini wine. It's like a little wine store, but it's, if you don't know, it's actually it's a Mission Hill. It's a Von Mandel store, and they only sell Von Mandel stuff there. So it's not something we get that excited about because that's Mission Hill. And back at that day, it was basically just Mission Hill. And I don't drink a lot of Mission Hill wine. But up in the cupboard, or up in the top shelf, they have these dust-covered two wine glasses in individual containers. And they're like $180 each. But they were on for like 70% off. Clearly they'd been sitting around a while and they couldn't get rid of them. So I got a pretty good deal on them. I bought 2. And I only use them for Grüner Veltliner, which is what they're for. They're marked Grüner Veltliner glasses. And I love the green stem. They're gorgeous glasses. But not drinking a lot of Grüner Veltliner. They don't get an awful lot of work. It's going to get some work today, finally. That's nice. So, yeah, this is a good wine. It hasn't improved for me. I'll be interested to see what the 15s and 16s are like. In fact, I would say this one's probably getting to end of life. I don't really know how long BC Gruner will last. I doubt anybody has any idea because there hasn't been any. As I said, I think the 2013 vintage of this wine was the very first Gruner ever released in BC. Yeah, there's something funny at the end of the palate. Not in a bad way. Something I can't identify. It's like the stone fruit got... It's like a peach pit. I don't know what a peach pit tastes like, but a little bit. You know how the pith of a citrus fruit is a little bitter. It's like that with the stone fruit, with the white peach and the... It's almost a little bit like apricot jam, but not even remotely sweet. Like if you made apricot preserves and forgot to put the sugar in, maybe that's what you're getting here. Interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go and drink this bottle, and I will be back to open the 50, and I'm very excited about the 50, and I'll tell you more about that bottle later and its history with me, and the 16 a little bit later, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey everybody, we're back. Coming a 2015 Unicus Grüner Veltliner in the glass right now. This is the one I'm most looking forward to. The 2014 was nice. 2016 I expect to be nice, but I still have my notes here. My notes are suddenly chewed. Cedra. Worst period. Cat period. Ever period. Seriously, is this a thing? Cats eating paper? Do I have the only cat in the world that does this? Dogs chew things, I get that. But cats, you just can't leave her to your paper. Anyway, so these are the notes from when I originally reviewed this back in probably 2017. And I also pulled out the insert card that came with this vertical. I'm going to see if it changed. They've got very different notes on the palette here than what I made, the notes I made in 2017. But let's see if we agree. So this is, I'm so excited about this one because this is one of only 2 non-Chardonnay white wines that have ever made my best of the best list. That if you go to my blog, you'll find that's a list of 95 points and above. And there's one South African Chenin Blanc and this. Oh, it still smells so fresh and lively. Let's see what I said in 2015, or 17, I guess. Beautiful aromas of orchid fruit, citrus, white pepper, and lemongrass. Yes, and not so much lemongrass at this point, I don't think. A little bit of the herbaceous quality that you might associate with lemongrass is gone. Other than that, it smells very similar. So let's see what Coma has said, if they have aromas on here. No, I'll tell you the winemaking behind it. 2015 was the first vintage to incorporate the use of concrete tanks in the fermentation, using both an egg-shaped and an amphora-shaped concrete tank along with some stainless steel to vinify the wine. An expressive vintage filled with aromas of lemongrass, toasted almond, and honeycomb. Interesting. The only thing we had in common on the notes was lemongrass, and that's one thing that I think is gone now. Let's see if it opens up and lemongrass comes back. Toasted almond, eh? Man, that's pretty subtle if it's there. What else did they say? Honeycomb. No, I don't get that. Okay, let's see how it's held up. Oh man, that's nice. Ooh, actually tastes a little hot, which is interesting. That could very well just be my palate, because that's the first wine of the day. I have something flying in my face here, like a hair or something. I'd say it's a fly, except there's no flies in this room. So I said, beautiful palate features some creme brulee, lemon, toasted almond, and subtle herbaceous notes, married to a tiny touch of white pepper on the finish. The best of this varietal I've ever had, and it's not even close. So good I'd buy it at twice the price. Just don't tell the winery that. 95 points. And let's see what they say about. So these are written now. These are current notes. They came with the verticals. This wine is now aged 4 years and developed flavors of brioche, poached pear, and sultana raisins. Sultana raisins? Wow. No. Brioche makes sense. And there is much more nutty quality on the palate than on the nose. So I go with that. Raisins? I don't really like raisins. I don't totally know what raisins taste like, sultana raisin tastes like in a white wine like this. It doesn't have those, sometimes you get a port wine or a fortified wine which got a real raisiny flavor to it. That's much more intense, and that's of course part to do with the ferment or the fortification of the wine. I don't see that here, but definitely some almond. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's not better. You know, when we age wine, I think in a perfect world it gets better, right? Sometimes it's just nice to taste a different wine 3 or 4 years later, and you hope it doesn't get worse. The worst thing is when you pull a nice bottle of your cellar and it's corked or it's past its peak, it's going downhill. This is not. I'm not suggesting this is not a good wine. It's beautiful. Yeah, but I'm not sure I'd give it 95 if I was reading it right this minute. Well, there's the white pepper. Well, yeah. That took a couple minutes, but yeah. It's still a good wine. It really is. Still the best of the vintage. I assume I haven't had the 16 yet. Maybe the 16's improved and passed it. I doubt it, but yeah. No, it's lovely. If you happen to be out there and are holding any of these, drink them. So far, I'd tell you with the 14 and the 15, neither one of them's got any better. Different, sure, but not better. So at that point, if you're actually holding on to these just for the heck of it, and I think I have some 16 in my cellar and some 17. I don't know how many 14 or 15. 15, I think I had a case of it. I drank it in like 3 weeks, I swear. It was, so amazing. And every bottle was amazing. I didn't have a single one where I went, this wasn't quite as good as the last bottle. They were all just incredible. Wow. You even get a little bit of hint of like pineapple on the finish here, which I haven't seen much tropical fruit on this vintage before. That's coming up. All right, well, I'm going to go open up some cheese, I think, cut some cheese, not like that, and finish this off. And when I come back, we'll be up to the last one, the 2016. Finish up our three-year vertical of Grüner Veltliner. Alrighty, see you soon. Okay, so we're back for our last of the 3 vertical Grüner Veltliner 2016 Unicus. It's me and Kat. Yeah, this is the paper chewer who loves this room and spends as much time as she humanly possibly could in this room. Humanly possible. Kiddily possible? What does that mean? Yeah. Alright, so once again I brought my notes from my original. And Commodus notes, and we'll see what we say. 2016, I said, this one doesn't quite measure up to the spectacular 15 version, but it's still darn good. Aromas of Meyer lemon, stone fruit, and minerality. All those are still there, but I'm also going to add some orchid fruit, some peach, white peach, I think, yeah. Yeah, and the white pepper that you might expect that I obviously didn't get the first time. Just lifts out of the glass. Lovely. All right. So I said flavors are complex and change in your mouth. Peach, grapefruit, lemon, and white pepper. Delicious, 92 points. So that would have been in 2018-ish, maybe late 17, probably early 18 when I had tasted this the first time. Well, what did I say? Peach, grapefruit, lemon, and white pepper. The peach is down a little, the grapefruit's up a little. Let's see what they said. So aromas that range from Meyer lemon to wet stone minerality to savory herbs. All makes sense. Integrated citrus flavors carry through the palate with a mineral-laden finish. Well, I mean, there is citrus, but I think there's more than just that. Well, I mean, grapefruit is citrus, lemon is citrus. There's still more orchid fruit flowers, so the peach is still intense. But the grapefruit is higher, I would think. I would say grapefruit is the number one. Like a white grapefruit, not pink grapefruit you'll get in rosé. It's like a white grapefruit, which is nice. I'm not a big grapefruit fan, but there's still lemon, still some white pepper, still peach. So of the 3, this is the one that I would say has changed the least. And I would say it's just as good as it was. I would probably give it 92 again. So, yeah. Lovely. So, takeaways from this, I would say, from my little experiment here, if you got Grüner Veltliner in your cellar, drink it. I haven't seen one of these that got better. This is 2016, so it's a couple vintages old now, and I wouldn't say it's better, but it's as good. Excuse me. Worst cat ever. It's a very nice wine. But I think Gruner traditionally ages nicely from probably the Australian ones, or excuse me, Austrian, not Australia. For this one though, I'd say drink it, because it's lovely. They were all lovely wines, even the 2014 was still very good. But I don't think they got better, in fact I think they started to dip a little. Just let me finish my show, and then you can go and scratch something, and claw something, or eat something, and I'm sure there's some paper around here somewhere for you to chew on. Anyway, so that's it for today. I hope you learned a little bit about Grüner Veltliner and the ageability of BC Gruner, or not so much, depending on exactly what your opinion is. Nice wines, but I don't think they got any better after a few years. I think if you are interested in trying this, I believe they still have some of these available on their website. Check it out. I mentioned that I also had a Riesling vertical come at the same time. Well, I think it's a package. You get 3 of each, 3 Riesling and 3 Gruner. So the Riesling I haven't tasted yet. Riesling, of course, we know traditionally ages very well, so I'll be interested to see. I'll do the same thing. We'll do a vertical of the Riesling. We'll see what that one's like. And here she comes. And whoa, yes, there goes the Gruner on the ground. Wow. Anyway, that's it for today. Drink great wine. You'd think I was drunk. I've had like 3 sips. Drink great wine. Have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks, everybody. And you can just get down.